Hey everybody, Rabbi Randy here once again. For those of you that saw last evening's Omer message, might have been a little startling. You can still see it on Facebook and YouTube as a video. The day 45. Um, just had it was late, and we have this wonderful annual tradition at CRC where we invite all of the young people who graduated high school that are part of whose families are part of CRC to we usually go to someone's home, one of the seniors' homes, and we have get together with them. But also we have a ritual we do involving deciding together what the students need to pack for their next chapter, and not necessarily sort of physical items, but what values and what kind of spiritual qualities um, do they and the parents of the seniors, what do the students think they should pack, and what do the parents of the students think they should pack, and we separate the students from the parents, and then come back together, and we give a gift. We give like Shabbat candles and Hanukkah and things that the students can take with them to kind of do Jewish mitzvahs, even when they're not living at home anymore. And we sing Lechi Lach. It's a lovely. You've been doing it forever and ever and ever. I think I told the students, the families last night that CRC probably started doing this senior send off as soon as there was more than one senior at CRC back in the old days when we were just starting out. Um, I think it's healthy for everyone. It's healthy for the students to have this ritual and this moment of you know what has come before that we want to bring with us to what's happening next. Really good for the parents, to sort of have more time with their kids and to see the other sort of CRC students. And it's great for the rabbis and Laura Maxine, because at this point, some of those seniors in high school, graduates, I've known since they were literally born. And the house that we were at, I officiated the parents' wedding. So before there was even a, a child, I've known this household, this family. So it's real special. Anyway, kind of decided because it was getting late that we should do the Omer video, and there were still some of the families that were there. And so we, as you might have seen, we kind of sprung it on you, um, and I had everybody that was assembled do the bracha and the count um, for the Omer, and it was probably a little abrupt, and there wasn't much lead up like you're used to in these videos. But anyway, I thought it was a change of venue, and so I would imagine some of you saw people you knew between the students and the families. Anyway, just wanted to kind of give a little post explanation. And now we're on to the next night. I'm still at CRC. It's getting to be nighttime. These long days of late spring, early summer. But now it's getting to be nighttime and time to count the Omer. Thought I would do a song. It's been a bit since I did a song as part of these videos. I've sang Hashkivenu a few times on these Omer videos, a couple times with the Hebrew Wednesday school kids, and I think I even sang. I think on one of the we can look back in the archives, but I think I sang a Springsteen song, "The Ghost of Tom Joad." But I want to sing something else we've been singing at services that I just can't let go of. It's kind of I've been calling it a contemporary liturgy, and that's really what it is. It was written. It's Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Those of you that have been coming to services or watching services, I'm sure are pretty familiar with it by now. Been singing it in place of, especially on Friday nights and on Saturday mornings when there's not a bar bat mitzvah, kind of in the place where we usually sing the peace prayer. In the evening, Shalom Rav, and in the morning, Sim Shalom. But this is something that this was written just, maybe 10, 15 years ago by a rabbi named Rabbi Menachem Creditor. And I actually have a weird history, not a weird history, but I have some kind of a history with Rabbi Creditor, which is he was an assistant rabbi at my in-laws' synagogue years ago, a bunch of years ago, when we used to go to Boston when our kids were little. For a couple of years there, he was the assistant rabbi. And the synagogue in Boston my in-laws belong to, a conservative synagogue. He's a conservative rabbi. It's a really nice place, and my in-laws loved it. But Rabbi Creditor always seemed a little out of place. He was a little, I was going to say alternative or counterculture. It was a fairly straight-laced synagogue. And lo and behold, he ends up in Berkeley, California, which kind of tracked for me. And then I kind of started to read about this song that was getting traction. I think I first heard it at some kind of a Jewish song gathering. People were singing it. I think there was like a drum circle, and they were singing this. And I came to learn that it was written by Menachem Creditor, and it had kind of really gained a lot of attention and following in the Jewish world. People were singing it at synagogue, and people were singing it at summer camps, and then it was even going beyond the Jewish world. People were singing it at like protests and demonstrations and gatherings. There's a great YouTube video of our own KB, Rabbi KB, leading a real interfaith, multi-faith, multicultural group of people. I think it was a protest against immigration policies, harsh immigration policies in the first Trump administration. And KB taught everyone at this protest, Olam Chesed Yibaneh by Rabbi Creditor. A few years ago, I went to a conference in Berkeley at his synagogue, kind of a progressive Jewish conference, and he, as a welcome, he sang it. So it's kind of like Debbie Friedman, real contemporary. Debbie's passed away, but when she was writing her prayers, we always think about our prayers as so old and ancient, but there are modern liturgists, and some modern prayers kind of get part of the get absorbed into mainstream Judaism and get absorbed into prayer books that contain these ancient prayers. Debbie Friedman's, of course, Lechi Lach, I mentioned that already in her Misha Berach, are pretty ubiquitous in Jewish congregations. So this has become that too, and I used to love playing Shalom Rav on guitar on Friday night, but now when I think about singing a prayer in that spot, it's got to be Olam Chesed Yibaneh. So what does it mean? It's just 3 Hebrew words. Like Hebrew grammar is a little out of order from English grammar, but I'll tell you what the words mean in their order. It won't make as much sense. But Olam is world, Chesed is kindness, and Yibaneh is building, or will build. So to say it in English, world, kindness will build. But of course, the way we would say it in English is, we'll build the world with kindness. And Menachem Creditor actually, like a lot of modern prayers, Jewish prayers, weaves an English translation in with the Hebrew, and he uses the word love, not kindness. And there's reason for that. The word most commonly used for love in Hebrew is ahava, but chesed, especially when attached to gimilut chesed or gimilut chasadim, that means loving kindness, and that phrase gimilut chasadim is appears in a lot of places in Jewish prayer. So I think he was probably using chesed, kind of in that form, loving kindness, this sort of weaving of love and kindness. This what would it be like if it was love and kindness? I think is sort of the point. So he uses the translation love, and it works for me. And this notion that we should, we ought to, we can build the world with love or more love. Part of what speaks to me about this prayer is that it says that the love is there, right? Um, the the love, if in other words, if we're building the world with love, then it's assuming that there is love in the world and there is kindness in the world. And I think we know that to be true. Sometimes it feels less like that than other times. But there are acts of love, there are acts of kindness, even in these difficult and challenging times, even when there's a lot of cynicism and divisiveness and hatred. There's also the good stuff, right? So, but it's there, and we need to put more of it in the world. I think that's kind of the message, and I'm feeling that strongly. I think so many of us are. Where have we gone astray as people, as individuals, as Jews, as humans, and how can we get back to it? Get back more love, more chesed in the world, in the Olam. So Olam Chesed Yibaneh, and there's some English there that some of you know, and I just thought it would be a good lead up to this next day of the Omer, which is getting us closer and closer and closer to Shavuot, to the mountaintop. And I'll talk more in the next couple nights about Shavuot and what we're doing at CRC to observe Shavuot, what you can do to observe Shavuot. So maybe even starting tomorrow, Thursday night, because we skip Friday, because we say the Omer ritual at services, and then Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, we'll start kind of getting more, kind of lean into the Shavuos part of the equation. But tonight, let's reflect on how we can put more love into the world. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. I will build this world. I will build this world with love. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. And if we build this world from love, and if we build this world from love, Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. Then God will build this world. Then God will build this world from love. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. No Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. No Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadai, Yadai, Yadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada-da, yada-da, yada-da. Amen. All right, we're at day 46. Day 46. It is still the week of Malchut, sovereignty. It's the interweaving quality for the day is Netzach. Um, some say Netzach is endurance. So the endurance of sovereignty. Keep on. I'll make my little teaching then based on the song. Keep on believing that there can be more love in the world with all of our sovereignty, knowing even what we know, all of the challenges, all the sadness, all of the setbacks. Have that endurance. We've been there before, and we'll get there again when love will be dominant. How about that? Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer. Blessed is the Holy One, whose presence fills creation, where we learn mitzvahs, sacred deeds, rituals that fill our lives, traditions that fill our lives with meaning and purpose and dignity, including this mitzvah that we have been doing for all these weeks and days of counting the days from Passover to Shavuot, from spring up to summer, getting towards summer. What else? From the time of planting, the time of first growth, from freedom to responsibility, and you need to bridge them, have them both, from Passover to Shavuot. This being day 46 of our counting, we count 49, the 50th day of Shavuot, so we're getting there, step by step, little by little, day by day. Have a good night, everyone, and keep building the world with more